Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be building some drawers for our Toyota Tacoma. If you guys didn't see the last video, I built a sleep deck, so if you guys want to do the whole setup, be sure to go back and check that out. But for today, we're going to get started on these drawers. I went and picked up some material here. I think I spent another 150 bucks. I believe last time was 150, so we're at a grand total of $300 so far on this whole build, which is pretty impressive. So if you guys already watched the last video, you know that we have exactly 5 feet to work with in this bed for the tailgate to shut. So I'm gonna make the frame just a little bit shorter at 59 inches, just to give that extra inch for that faceplate, so it'll fit really nicely with the tailgate shut. And then I'm actually going to use the leftover scrap from the deck itself, this 2x6, as the shorter center braces in it. All right, we got all of our boards marked out to that 59 inch mark, so I'm gonna go ahead and chop off this excess, and then we'll slap on those 2x6s. All right, you guys, now you can see that I got the 15 inches marked out for those front and rear pieces of the drawer frame. So let me go ahead and cut those really quick, and then we'll start screwing things together. So you should end up with something like this, super sturdy as is already, but I went ahead and got these corner braces from Home Depot. There's this little metal piece that you can put in all these corners just to add a little more strength. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up and put those in there. It's just a little bit insurance, you know. And I think the kits are maybe $5 a piece. I got 2, 1 for each drawer. For that price, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. So let me put these in. All right, you guys, so let me show you where I'm at with this so far. I didn't film some of it because I was still trying to figure it out, but this is what I came up with, so let me show you. If you guys remember those long extra strips we had from the deck platform, I cut them off at 59 inches, so they're the same width of the drawer. And this is 15, and then with these two 6x1s, it comes out to 16.5. So I drew a line all the way down at 16.5, and I realized that with the Sawzall, it was gonna be really hard to get a perfectly straight cut. So I used the edge that was already pre-cut from the sheet itself, and when I drew that line, I just lined up the edge of this drawer. So what I can do now is take the Sawzall all the way down and use that side of the drawer almost as like a reference point, so I can't really do any divots. As long as I hold it against that wood, it'll go straight. So let me go ahead and cut that, and then I think we can paint it after this. All right, you guys, it's the next day. I'm gonna get started again on the drawers, and I think my new plan of attack is this. So I drew out the dimensions on the sheet of wood, and like how I said, I cut this one the last time and then used the other edge as my guide. But what I think I'm gonna do this time is leave the sheet as is, line up the boards with all my lines, line it up with this nice straight line, screw it all in, and then actually cut it out so I can use the whole frame itself as my guide. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then we'll set them both on the stands and get the bottoms painted at least, and then we can flip them over and then carpet the insides, paint the rest. And this is what's kind of nice of having that line drawn at first. At least for me, it helps me out, because if you'll notice, this wood is actually bowed here. So with that line being there, I can come over here and pull it against that line and make sure I screw it to where it's perfectly straight. Because one of my initial thoughts was to put the board on there and just trace it and cut it, but that would have left me with an uneven cut. So at least here I have a for sure line on where I know is straight. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that board in, screw it from the bottom, and then trim it off. You guys, we're finally back to working on the drawers again. So we're finally painted. We're finally at the actual part of how we're gonna build the slides. So this is what I did, is I got these 1x1s, and if you can see, they fit perfectly in between these notches. So with those 1x1s, we're gonna do an inch of a gap to the edge, and on this side, we're gonna do 3 inches of gap to the edge. So I kind of drew this up so I'd remember where to place all the little things. But yeah, that's how I'm gonna make my slide system. So what I'm gonna do is throw screws through the top to hold it all together, and then obviously cut these flush with the drawer themselves. So now that I got my measurements figured out for the slide, I'm gonna pull them out again, throw them on the stand, and then I'll be able to start screwing in the slide parts. So let's get to it. Okay, so this is actually what I decided to do, because measuring and then screwing in from the bottom was kind of hard. So I'm gonna go along here, measure an inch, and what I did is I actually pre-drilled the 1x1 with the 7/62 drill bit, measured 1 inch on both sides, and got both of the ends. So now what I'm gonna do is measure an inch all the way down and just keep pre-drilling and then run some screws down. So I think that's gonna be the way I'm gonna do it, and instead of going through. I think it'll look a little cleaner too, because we won't have to worry about seeing the head when we put our mat on top of the drawer. So this is the route we're going. Okay, now I'm gonna pre-drill a random hole just wherever on the 1x1. And then I'm gonna figure out where my 1 inch is, which is about there. Let me measure again before I send it home. And then I'm gonna do that for the rest of the way down. And then on the other side, like I said, 3 inches instead of the 1. But let me finish this one up really quick and we'll jump to the other side. Yeah, works exactly as it should. So it fell perfectly in those tracks, and I actually could have made the drawers longer, but my reason for going a little bit shorter than the ones I did before is so I can stuff fishing poles down here and stuff like that I don't want in the drawers and I don't want on top while I'm sleeping. So I made them a little shorter, fit longer stuff down there, but there we go. There's one. So now let's go ahead and get our 1x1s on our other one, make those slides, and then we can start on the face, which I have over there. All right, so now we're gonna build the other side rail. So like I said before, we just have to measure 1 inch in on this one, which is gonna be roughly about there. Gonna get my drill. I'm gonna give that 1x1 a pilot hole so it doesn't split on me. So that's that. Get a screw started. Make sure it's where we want. Screw it in just like that. So now I'm going to go to the other side, do the same thing, measure 1x1. And I'm actually just going to do 3 all down the center. So just 2 on the ends, 1 in the middle, and I think that'll be plenty strong. That's what I did on the last one and it felt fine. So we'll throw the third one about here. Measure our 1 inch, which will be about here, okay. And then what I'm just doing with the excess is I'm just getting my Sawzall and I'm just cutting off. Just like that. So this side's done, now we need to do the other side. Remember that's gonna be 3 inches, so I'm gonna do that one really quick. And this is what I have for the face of the drawers. This is a pre-cut piece of wood I found in the lumber section. Let's see, it is a 4 foot 9¼ and then 1 inch thick. I liked it because of the wood grain on it. I thought it looked pretty cool. So I'm actually gonna torch it, stain it really nice. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut off 6 inches off the corner of it. And then I'm gonna cut that in half once we're done there. And that'll be our 2 faces. So let me go ahead and cut this 6-inch portion. Then we'll measure it out, cut down the middle. Okay, so there's our 2 pieces cut out. I think that makes a good fit because like I said, I can still stuff long things down there and then have a nice face for my drawers. And I made sure that I kept the wood grain going all the same way so it all flows together. But yeah, I think that fits perfect. I might use a little shim somehow to pick that up, fill that gap of hair, but I think that looks pretty good. So now I'm gonna go ahead, pull them off, torch them, and stain them. Okay, so we got the faces burned and then stained, and I think you can tell my torch wasn't cooperating with me. It kept going in and out. Whatever. Looks good enough for what it's for. I think it looks kind of cool anyway. We got the wood grain flowing with each other. I think that's a cool touch. And then what I'm doing to kind of lift these up a hair is I cut up some of this Amazon box, stuffed it underneath. And that should give us like an 1/8 of an inch gap. Push those things up a little further so they're not just sitting on the bed itself. And then if you see here, I drew little marks to show me where my drawer actually is in relation with the face. So when I screw it in, I can make sure that I'm actually drilling into the wood and not off to the side. So that's where we're at so far. I'm gonna make a couple more measurements and then make those permanent into the drawer. So here we go. Okay, so I'm not really gonna get too crazy with where I put these at, mainly because I'm gonna have handles on here that I'm gonna show you in a second. So let's throw one, say about here. Then we'll throw the other one pretty parallel with it, and we'll throw it here. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. Obviously we need our handle still. Looks like we got a good screw in. I guess we can go a little bit more. Same thing here, everything looks good. And I'm actually gonna, let's do one more. Alrighty, now let me show you what we're gonna use for the handles. Okay, and I got these, I can't take credit for them. Mike, if you're watching this, thanks for the idea. He used paracord handles on his drawers and they looked really cool. So I ordered these off Amazon. These are actually for a Bronco. These are the Bronco grab handles, but I like that they're a little bit shorter than what the Jeep ones were. So I'm gonna go ahead and tuck these behind like that. And I think I'm gonna screw them in something like this. So just kind of bear with me right now because I don't know what I'm doing. Let's just throw a screw through and see what it looks like. And then let's try one. Okay, I was gonna eyeball this, but let's not. So let's see, let's call it 4 3/8. Something like that, huh? Maybe I can throw another screw here. Let's do that. Let's throw 2 screws on each side. I like that. All right, now that we got the drawers themselves finished up, all we have to do is line them. This is a toolbox liner that I got off Amazon. I think they were 11 bucks each. These are a 6-foot by 16-inch toolbox liner. And what I'm gonna use is this 3M spray adhesive. So I got one drawer pulled out. I'm gonna spray it down with that adhesive. Let it sit for a second. You want it to get really sticky, and then we're gonna put the liner on top of it, get a razor blade, and trim out all those edges. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray that, and then line it. And it's actually sticking really well. So I'm gonna flatten it out as I go, get a razor blade, and just cut off any excess. All right, you guys, so that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for our DIY drawer system. So pretty much, as you can see, we've built a whole deck system for, we'll say conservatively, about $400, which I think is really impressive compared to other companies that you buy drawers from and all that stuff. So I think we did a pretty good job. Let's check them out and see what you guys think. So here's drawer one. And obviously we have the full length of the bed in the drawer. Same thing with this one. I'm really happy with how they came out. I think they came out pretty sharp. They're super solid. I think they're definitely gonna withstand anything. As you saw on my last drawers, if you guys saw them, nothing was weather treated, nothing was really taken care of. I kind of just put everything together for a quick trip, but now I think these are gonna last the life of the truck, which is what I was going for. So, as you can see, folds in nicely. And that's exactly what we wanted. Obviously, I made this video because I know a lot of you were wondering in previous videos that I had of using my truck, how I built the drawers. So I hope this helps you guys to understand how everything kind of works and how simple it really is, and how you can do this at home with really simple tools. Like you saw, I didn't have really much to work with at my new garage. I'm still acquiring tools here and there, but with what I did have, I was able to produce this. So I think that's pretty impressive. So I like to do this kind of stuff to kind of show people with simple tools and just simple knowledge how you can put anything together in quality. You can do some really quality work with just simple materials. So that's what I was going for here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something. And if you guys can, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I'll put it right here. And yeah, you guys can message me with any questions you have on your build or any ideas you guys have. I could do maybe a part 3. I know this is a part 2, but maybe I can do a part 3 where I add something else, or maybe I can critique something. So yeah, just message me, let me know what you guys think, or comment down below and give me ideas, and we can continue building off of this and build the ultimate Tacoma camp setup. With that being said, I think that's gonna wrap up this video. I hope you guys like it, and we'll catch you on the next adventure.